Go.
Hello and welcome to the Tier 3 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. As you can tell, we're not even loaded in the lobby yet, and probably if you saw, we have a new transition and all that. I'm not sure what the words are, but Bailey can tell me that later on, but we'll keep him a secret until race time. But nonetheless, I am here with the Ferrari driver, Ron Swanson. Ron, you're tied for the points lead for Gary right now. What is your mindset entering this racing qualifying?
I'm not tied, he's ahead of me.
But how much? Last time I checked, he was tied.
Then check again.
God. Gotta make me do the hard work. Gotta
You're
make me do
not a
busy
good
work.
commentator.
Bro!
You
I checked
didn't do
yesterday.
your research.
Bro, I'm doing my research right now.
Okay, I'll wait.
By 2. There you go. Gary's ahead by 2. Oops.
I need silence right here. Oh wait, is he in the tier? I don't know. Are you gonna ask me stuff?
Yeah. Well, considering that Gary is ahead of you by 2 in the points, what is your mindset going in qualifying and the race?
Finish ahead of Gary? Want me to be more descriptive?
Yes. No.
Alright, I don't care about qualifying because it's meaningless. And I didn't practice at all, so I have to just run laps. And then hopefully I'll finish ahead of Gary somehow. That's all I got.
Well, considering constructors as well, because at Brazil, you hit the wall, lap 2, got yourself wing damage. But when it comes to constructors, your teammate Whiffy came up to rise to the occasion to help get points Ferrari for the constructors. Once again, how are you feeling for constructors for the Ferrari camp?
I don't know, hopefully good. With, I don't know if that Hamilton guy's showing up, but he's got some speed, so if he's there, it might not, because now that, apparently at some point, and as far as I could tell, it was race 1 at Bahrain, someone screwed up the points thing, Kieran, and so now Gary magically got a bunch of points back, and so now they're ahead in the constructors as well. So I think they're ahead by like 6. So
yeah, it's 6.
I don't really know. I don't know. I'm tired, man. It's like I kind of care, but not really.
Yeah.
I believe Whiffy will win this race because I said it.
You must speak things into existence, but that will wrap up our prediction review with the championship protagonist, Ron. Good luck, Ron, in the race.
Went through all this for that. Alright, bye.
Yes, bye, Ron. Have fun. Alright. But now, we have a little something new for you guys to see. Now, we will take you down trackside for the Jeddah High Lap in the streets of Saudi Arabia. Well, we are back and just loaded into qualifying, and as you can see, at least so far, for the early stages of qualifying, it is gonna be sunny out here, but it's not dusk. It is still, the sun is still out peeking a little bit, but it is bound to go a little bit more in a dusk at the end of this qualifying. But at the start of the stream, I did mention that Bailey is going to be my new co-com for Tier 3, but for tonight, we do not have one. We have two co-coms, Bailey and Cam. But Bailey, go first. Bailey, how are you feeling for this Tier 3 race?
I am very, very excited for this. Obviously, there's a lot of big things to look out, as this is the first Jeddah race here for BRL. Like, you know, we gotta look out for penalties and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Cam?
Oh yeah, I'm very excited to watch these very good drivers race this beautiful track.
Yes, I am excited too, indeed, but the other championship protagonist as well is Gary in the Mercedes. He's actually on an out lap on the mediums right now. I wonder, I'll have to wait to get a weather report for the race, but with the way everyone is picking mediums, it's kind of telling me that it's probably gonna be dry, but I'm gonna probably have to wait until then. But everyone, I'm starting to get their out laps in for the first out lap, but the first driver to start their lap is, I believe, a Mercedes, not a Mercedes, an Alpine.
Potato.
Oh yeah, Potato and the Williams on the mediums as well. Waiting for everybody to start getting their laps in for the moment. Something to look out, something to note right now, at least for now, is that Itago is on the intermediate tires. I don't think that's going to mean anything. And it's drastic to say that he goes back on the mediums, but the Williams drivers of both Potato and Bad Bunny will be the first drivers to start the laps, as we're going to start looking at everybody's laps here, starting with Potato going into turn one, very smooth on the brakes and steering input. Looks like it gets a little understeer coming out of turn two, I believe. But going into the fast section here, you do not need to step over yourself here, because if you do, you could easily get yourself into the wall and get wing damage. And speaking of wing damage, I'll not be surprised if the mentality of these drivers will be damage limitation. Because in realistic tier, we had multiple crashes involving Sector 1. And I am interested to see how that plays out later on in this race. As Potato going through Sector 2 now. Let's see what Sector 2 time is. It is a 59.5 for the mediums. That is very good in relation to Tier 3 time. But now go to Sector 3 now. Here, this is the air straight. I will not be surprised if it will be an overtaking zone due to the fact and the nature of the straight line speed here, as the car can barely call in the 8th gear without DRS, and it can do it with ease with DRS. Speaking of DRS, the drag reduction system, which in its name, it gives you less drag, and it gives you an extra 10 miles an hour, and in kilometers it is 20. But the Williams driver Potato goes pole for 29.586 on the mediums. That did not last long, because the Red Bull of Ardell is a whole second faster on the sauce, which is expected. The Alfa Romeo driver next across the line, Silencer at 30.2 on the mediums. It should go P5 with 33.7 on the sauce. And then we have Garrett P4 splitting the Alfa Romeo drivers in the Mercedes of 30.4. Wrong. track is slim to none. So if there's going to be a driver that is going to be very consistent, look out for the nature of this track, should be Ron, as he just invalidated.
Yep, invalidation is going to be a huge part in qualifying here, as you can easily extend the corners, especially in Sector 1. But yeah, it's going to be also a big part in the race. You have to minimize damage as well as penalties.
As the next driver across the line, I believe that will be Yeet Doggo on an outlap. Yes, it is. The first driver to complete their lap that is on an actual lap, which I believe it is DXD, probably doing it, getting in some practice laps. Same with Gary. As Yeet Doggo on the mediums. Starting his lap now, as he has a very good steering input coming out turn 2, and he gets a slap of oversteer and hits the wall. I believe that it will be slight wing damage, as damage limitation is already kicking in for these drivers.
There's no visual damage on you, Doggo, but there might be like 8% damage, as some people would know from me. But yeah, no visual damage, so he should be able to continue.
Oh, I'm not sure which Alfa Romeo that was, but that was Silencer, so never mind that. I thought that was 6 Ishigo on a lap, but he's in the pit lane just now.
Yep, that would have been a shame if Silencer was on lap and Itago blocked him, but luckily he isn't.
Ron is on a lap now, going through Sector 2 now, going into the Fast X section as he gets a little bit on that curb and it barely taps the wall. As like we said, maybe 8% damage, but we never know considering this game.
He doesn't have DRS enabled.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So he probably did get damage from that.
Potentially a few practice
And they
laps.
keep that turn on.
This can be a few practice laps, as Ron did get home only, what is it, a couple minutes ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if he will go for another one.
It looks like he's just, doing some practice laps and getting some practice laps in.
Yeah, keeping the ERS off. This is definitely practice laps.
Or if he's on a good lap.
Woofy going through Sector 2 now, actually set a 59.8 in the Sector 2 time, but going through the final corner now, very smooth on the throttle, and as we saw last night, Nafatari Mumu on the last lap here crashed out of the race, so on very worn out tires, we maybe could see some errors being made around there, as he sets a 30 flat on the mediums, which will put him behind Potato, but ahead of Silencer and P6. And speaking of Woofy, actually, he has been on a charge lately ever since Ron really needed a secondary driver for Constructors Battle. Woofy has been there to support him when Ron needs the pieces to be picked up, because Woofy has gotten a podium. That makes it his second podium in Tier 3 this season.
Rage is the second up. I mean, Potato. Second up.
Looking at Potato, like you said, thank you, Cam. He is a second up on his time, but it is natural considering that he set his lap on the mediums as he goes pole with a 28.2 on the softs. On the mediums is now, that puts Ardell P2. And speaking of Ardell, he's on a lap, got to Sector 2 now, but that is a Ferrari of Whiffy, actually, which will give Ardell a little bit of tow to help out his lap here. Let's see what he does for Sector 2. He is 4.5 tenths up. That will put him at a 28.1, but with track extension there, something to be clear of as well is that the owners said in the BRL Discord server entering this weekend is that you should, if you extend the fast sector in Sector 1 and you extend and you do not invalidate, you are having to back out the lap. But that was in Sector 1. But Ardell across the line sets a 20.081, which will go pole. So Potato's pole time was short-lived. But driver to look out for as well as Alfa Romeo driver Dix Ishigo as lap times are starting to ramp up. with 7 minutes left in qualifying. DXT should go barely down on his time. Going to sector 3 now. Missed his apex there a little bit, but he's probably lost a couple tenths or so around there. But now going through this very long straight, actually his teammate Sciencer is behind him. I wasn't able to see a sector 2 time as Gary sets a purple sector 2. But now Sciencer and Ishigo going through final corner. Let's see what lap time Ishigo and Silencer is able to do. Ishigo improves to 29.1 flat, but Silencer goes up in the P4 for 28.6. But Stig is on an outlap on AlphaTauri. Let's see what Gary does. He's coming across the line. He's going to set a 28.2, which will put him a P2 and alongside the Red Bull of Ardell.
Yep, everyone improving their laps from their bankers by quite a big margin. As time goes on, we're going to have more grip into the track and lower fuel for everyone, so whole time will be a lot faster.
Well, the Red Bull of Mitchie P10 on the sauce, as he also will be a driver to look out for. But Ron in P11, he's actually invalidating. He is struggling with track limits, especially for a race where it is crunch time. So this is the time not to be consistent. I mean, time to be consistent. Oops.
Oh, okay, well, Ron is invalidated, but he did tap the wall there. Not sure if these are still practice laps, but he might have damage now.
He has backed out of it. But the driver said... let's look.
Never mind.
No, this isn't.
No, it's not.
Yep.
Maybe.
Well, Stig in P4 in the AlphaTauri, he is starting his lap now. Let's see what he's going to be able to do due to the fact that he has been quiet all season. I think now should be the time to prove that you are not just some slow driver and that you're actually quick and could contend with the top guys here.
Yep, obviously on a lap. Let's see how much he will be up. He's up by a tenth going into sector 2. Now into turn, what is this? I forgot the turn number. But yeah, pretty decent exit. Let's see if he will improve even more.
Yes, but going through here, something I've seen in Realistic as well is that the incident with Ardell actually, now for Mayo for the Realistic here, got on the curb there and spun it around in front of Mercedes driver Cook and Aston Martin driver of Chile it was, I believe. Something that should be looked into as well, because curbs here, but their curbs here are really not that bad unless you hit them in the wrong spot here.
Yep, the curbs here are a lot flatter than the other tracks. Obviously, they aren't like Italy where they will send you flying to the air, but they aren't, you know, the hardest. Here comes Tyrrell Stig coming to finish his lap. Let's see what he will do. He improves by a tenth. Doesn't improve his position, however.
He has not improved his position, like you said, improved on his time. Rage, actually, is 7/10 up coming out of sector 1 as he gets a little bit of oversteer and is able to correct the car in time to continue his lap.
Ooh, huge lift there.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yep, that might have costed him a bit of time.
He is a second up with a 59.5 for his sector 2 time, so that will put him at a 29.9, which will put him ahead of Whitby behind Dixie Ishigo. Something to note here is that we have 2 minutes and 45 seconds left of qualifying. So if you're going to get a lap in, you need to hurry and get out of the pits now. I'm looking at the guys like Silencer, DXD, Whiffy, Ardell, Potato, and all those guys here. As Rage goes up in the P7 for 29.5. My question is, will he see anybody break into the 27s?
Definitely.
Oh!
Ron.
Well, that right into the wall. That is definitely wing damage.
No visual damage.
Not
so,
visually.
Yeah. Oh, it's the wall again. He has backed off as he has turned off his ERS.
Yes, that is not good.
Gary's starting his
But-
lap. He'll have time for 2 laps if he messes with this one.
You are correct on that one, Cam. So, like what Cam said, if he messes up this one, he will have time to set another one. Something to talk about here is that tire wear here, it isn't as bad compared to the other tracks. So, you could probably make mediums last from if you pit lap 1 from wing damage, but your pace here is a huge fall off once they do start wearing down a little bit.
Ooh, Gary has invalidated. But yeah,
That
on the
was a
topic
very
of
bad
tire
thing.
wear, this is one of the newer tracks by Codemaster, so it is an easy soft medium, and tire wear is very, very minimal.
Yes.
You can go about 15 laps
it
on
is.
softs, which is more than half the race.
Yep, the race here for Jeddah is 25 laps, and it is now, we've gone under a minute left in qualifying. Its qualifying has went by very, very quickly, but now his silencer went up in the P5, I believe. May have been Yitago, which actually it was Yitago. Speaking of silencer, he's on a lap, he's invalidated, that's his qualifying done. As Gary will easily be able to make it back around. As that's actually Mitchie retired. That is coming. Oh, that is coming onto the long straight.
Wow. That's an interesting spot.
Yeah. At least Mitch is a good commentator, so makes up for it, I guess.
That is Kieran Evans child in the pit lane. That is 2 drivers that are qualifying, 3 if you include in silencer. But now Gary's actually invalidated. That's his qualifying over. So
Ardell's
unless
down to 10.
yes, I was looking at that. Ardell's down to 10. Oh, that's Potato on the wall. He's invalidated. Qualifying's over. So Ardell may not even have to worry about these guys even getting their lap in unless.
That's a little naughty.
Lucky for not an invalidation there by Ardell. That was a pretty big cut.
Yeah. He's 6 tenths down, so.
Yeah, I think
Bad
this lap
Bunny
is
coming
over.
across the line. He hasn't even set a lap time yet, but let's see what he does. He slows down actually to ensure that he gets outside top 10 for free tire choice. Very interesting.
I think the only one on the lap right now. Actually, no, there's a few. Oh, yep, Yitago's in. Ichigo is invalid. Whiffy going through the final.
Whippy's on a lap.
Yeah.
He's up by 8 tenths, so that put him at a 29-2. Put him behind the Ichigo. But coming out the final corner, let's see what he does. He's been on a charge lately. Will the charge at least carry on? It puts him P7, barely behind Yitago on AlphaTauri for P6. So yes, the momentum will carry on until the race. Is qualifying over with Ardell and Gary taking up the front row.
Yep.
I saw a
pulled
lot
by
of choking
Ardell.
going on right there.
Pulled by Ardell. Something huge though is Ron is starting last.
Free tire choice.
He should start on the softs, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you should start on the softs because starting on the mediums, you lose a lot of time. And by the time your mediums start to kick in, you've lost an insufferable amount of time to even catch up to soft runners.
Yep. Strat is not the strongest here compared to other tracks, so it'll be interesting to see what the people outside the top 10 will do.
Yes, it will be, as we're just waiting on Potato. As Kieran Evans has actually left the session. But that will conclude qualifying for the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. With the Canadian of Ardell setting a pole with a 28.081. But the Englishman, Gary in the Mercedes, will start P2 with a lap time of 28.204. And then we have the Aussie in the Williams, also for 28.2, but with a 2.88. Stig, the American, AlphaTauri 28.4. Sponsor P5, 28.6. Yitago, 28.9. Whiffy P10 for 28.9 as well. DXD, it should go with a 29-1, and that will be your top 8 since the game cut me off.
Yep, a very interesting qualifying there. Some big names not really up there. I think Gary's what, P2, so he'll want that win to extend his championship.
It will, because the time to be quick and consistent is now, especially when the championship is this close between the two.
Yep,
As we
for sure.
we look into race director, everybody on the sauce.
Yep, no one on alt strat quite yet. Obviously, some people are still probably loading in.
Aaron Evans is back in the session.
Ooh, Ron is on the mediums.
Oh,
Just
okay.
wait for a safety car to come out. You go like 20 laps if you really want to.
That's going to be something to look out for. Our second driver in the championship on the alt strat. Let's see what he can do. And he's gone back. Bad Bunny
And back on
mediums.
these on the
Smart.
mediums though.
Yeah.
It is, but the formation lap for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix has now started. Is actually, I'll be back to get myself a drink, so I'll hurry. I'm back.
Welcome
There you go.
back.
Yes, I'm running on. I'm not G Fuel Gatorade right now, so. Scott, y'all copyright strike right there.
I don't think that's copyright.
I don't know. It's happened multiple times apparently, but this is something I haven't done in a while. What are you all's podium prediction?
Alright. I think Ardell will be able to get back on the podium, but not in P1. I think he'll get P3. Gary will get the win, in my opinion. And I think Ron will be able to get up back into P2.
Cam?
Gary Potato Stick. I know Ardell, he chokes every race. I see him racing, so I trust him to choke again.
Well, this formation lap is going by very quickly. But now,
Oh wow. Bit of a checkup
Yeah.
there. Gee.
well, can't get disqualified. Your AI's in control. But Ardell in the Red Bull will be the first driver to line up on the grid for 25 laps of non-stop action and non-stop level of adrenaline. As Ardell will start lining up the grid. I just took my wow, but now look at the Ferrari in the back lining up now. There you go. He stopped. Now we gotta wait for everybody to load in. Wow. Great.
This is already
But-
taking a bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, great game, guys.
10 out of 10.
Then out of 10. Elite.
Absolutely scenes. Okay, maybe this is taking more than a bit.
Please, no lobby reset.
So how was your Friday, guys?
It went very nice. How about you guys?
Slept. Yeah.
It was okay. I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, there's your pit stop strategy if you want to look at it. I don't think anyone's gonna use the bottom option.
Yeah.
Was I muted during those predictions?
No.
Oh.
Top 10 get new softs. God bless them.
I don't think anyone is gonna get tired temp here. I also
Yeah,
kinda
if this
can't
gets
really
going,
get
it's going to be a safety car.
Oh, it's what the fuck?
Yeah.
There
Hope
we
we
go.
get a
There we
restart.
go.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Oh god. My screen's froze.
A game crashed.
My game crashed.
Yeah, my game crashed.
Alright, time to
Well.
give you all a new transition. Have fun.
In the style of the wreck terminal.
Bro, did the race actually start, I swear?
Did it start? Oh, I should like mute us. Alright, we're back live.
Hey guys, we are back from like almost like half an hour of maintenance. So, let's say that it took quite a while for us to get a lobby back up, but here we are. But now we look at race director. Something to note is that in case of a lobby restart, everybody in the top 10 must start on the tire that they qualified on in the other lobby. But 11th, 12th, and 13th, at least for this lobby, can switch back to either soft or hard or even medium, since it is free tire choice. So that'd be something to look out for. If someone does break that rule, that could be a guaranteed race ban. I think it's race or quali ban, but nonetheless,
disqualified first. Alright, here we go.
well, we're back under the formation lap. Second formation lap of the night, boys. Get your tire temperature up by double XP right here. Double XP tire warm up.
Yep. Everyone is on softs this time. Bad went back to softs, so no one will be on alt strat.
Yep.
Good for him, man. Very proud of him.
Learned from his little mistake on the last lobby.
Well, also something else to think about is if someone forgot their setup because they ready up too quick thinking that they already have their setup on. Oh, that is going to be something also to look out for.
Another thing is that everyone is going to be on around the same exact tire wear. This is a lobby reset. We did not have quali, so everyone will be around the 0 to 2% range, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, no tire wear, really. So they can extend this stint at least a bit more.
Well,
a couple people have forgot their setup.
Nice.
1, 2. I think that's okay. At least 2 have.
Which drivers?
Stig and Michi.
Okay.
Forgot my set. Yep.
That'll be something to look out for.
Stig.
I think they're gonna be on
Michi,
what, 8 wings. So they're gonna have some pretty good straight line speed.
Well, I'm getting
Michi
feelings.
This race will be proud.
Yes, but I'm getting feelings of deja vu here, as Ardell is now everybody's starting to be put in AI mode for the AI to line them up on the grid automatically. Starting with the Red Bull of BRL Ardell. If our game crashes again, I'll know what I'm gonna do. But
Oh my god.
Here we go. Attempt 2.
Yep, here we go. Attempt number 2. But now Ardell will be the first time to line up on the grid, and there he is now. And then we wait for Ron to line up on the grid.
Right.
And we go back up to the front here to get lights out underway here. Oh my god, guys.
Wow.
But anyway, 5 red on. Will it be Gary? Will it be Ron? But we'll wait as actually that is 3 drive-through. It is lights out, and away we go. As that is Ardell with a great start compared to Gary. Ardell shows Gary wide. That is believed. That is Mitchie. That is went wide here. But still, that is a very chaotic and confusing start here, but it's your theory. Nothing can be straightforward. As Potatoes are looking for a move on Gary, but here comes Stig with the base setup, trying to go on around the outside, which he does for Potatoes. This Potato maybe have weak damage, but we're gonna have to look out as they're actually about to go 3 wide as DXC and backs out of it. Actually, we've made it through Sector 1. That was something more than the pass attempt, but that is Ron already up in the P10, already in the points, which is going to be crucial as he needs to pass quickly.
Yep, that was a very, very chaotic start as 3 people have drive-through penalties. Now Ron up in the P10, so that's points paying for him. Yeah, that was pretty chaotic.
Oh, that's right into the wall. That's going to help Ron out even more.
Oh no.
E-Doggo's an AI. Uh-oh. I don't think Rage has any damage, well, visual at least.
That is DXH going out for Mayo, trying to get around the brother team in the front, and he actually gets the move done. But now we've completed lap 1 of the second attempt at Grand Prix here in Saudi Arabia. But as now Karen Evans is in the pit lane, same with Mitchie serve their drive-throughs. As Doggo and Rage are going at it once again, I believe that is just Doggo's AI, which it is. So that will be a very easy pass as Ron needs to get around Doggo's AI as well.
Oh, wow. I don't know what the AI is, but that is some early braking. Ron almost running into the back of E-Doggo's AI.
Well, it is AI, so it does do very early braking.
Yeah.
Ardell is showing a great pace right now. Getting out of the DRS.
As Whiffy and DC Ishigo once again going at it, that will be a battle to look out for, as Ron has actually gotten ahead of E-Doggo, so that will allow him to set his sights on the Alpine of DXR Rages. As, yes, thank you for noticing that, as Gary is going to be trying to go alongside Wardell, trying to pinch him here. As this will be something to look out for. Going through here, they're going to Will. They're giving each other fairly amount of space. As Gary is actually able to get around to Vardell. As Ardell's using the battery here, he's going to go back to the outside here for the final quarter here, as I would prefer going down to the inside. That way you can not get forced off wide here. But Ardell gets the traction out of the corner, and he gets around Gary, but that allows Silencer, Stig, Potato, and even Whiffy and Dixie a little bit, as Ron has actually gone ahead of Rage, as Rage is in the pit lane for wing damage, as that's Gary ahead of Ardell. But Ardell's probably going to look for a peek back here. No, he's not. Gary with the superior traction. Ardell using the battery to stay behind him as the DRS is activated this time.
These two want to use too much battery. Stig has almost max battery compared to them. 40.
Yep, some good battling early on in this race. Ardell going back down into P2 as Gary with the lead. Gary trying to break the slipstream, but he will be able to maintain his position.
Ardell was a switchback. Oh, that was close. But I do not think that was contact in the wall for Gary. But Stig, actually, with the base setup, is keeping up with these guys. I was starting to say that he gets on the curb and gets a little bit of oversteer, but Ardell is using the battery to pull away from Gary. I wouldn't prefer being ahead here, considering the DRS power, but one to their own preference, and here we go. Let's see if Ardell's going to be able to defend this here, as Gary is actually gaining on him here, as Ardell is using the battery, but Gary is not. And even when Ardell is using the battery, Ardell is gaining on him. But here comes Stig and AlphaTauri looking for a move on Ardell. Will Ardell? Oh, that was a huge run for Ardell as he went from P3 to the lead. What a huge run, as that allows Stig to get on Gary. Now that will potentially help out Silencer here.
Oh my god, that's the Alfa Romeo going down into the inside of the Mercedes. Let's see if he gets the position. They're still side by side.
We saw this in realistic tier of Moo and Deer Hunter. That happened with Deer going in the wall. As you are the team manager, Cam, so we probably know your opinion on it. As I'm the Red Bull manager, so I know my opinion on it. So, I think we should agree to disagree there. But this isn't realistic tier. This is tier 3.
I think we could both agree on that.
Maybe.
Something is telling me that Stig is not on base setup. He's easily keeping up with Ardell and the leaders. Yeah.
Boys use the tactic as Mitchie gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. First 3-second time penalty. I think he's on a base setup because he literally gained on Ardell so much there. So.
He has slipstream.
Let's see what he will do here.
Yep. I'll not be surprised. Oh, Stig actually able to DRS here. That is very interesting.
That's big brain plays from him right there.
Silencer back up with these top 3. A bit of a gap earlier on in the lap.
And Stig has actually disabled it once again with Silencer fastest lap. Stig going in defensive position, but Silencer deep on the brakes there. But Stig put his car in such a great position that Silencer couldn't do anything with that deep braking. But nonetheless, Ron is forced on 3.6 seconds actually behind DXD and Whiffy is 2.4 seconds off of the strand here. As Ardell gets a 3-second time penalty. That will play crucial later on in this Grand Prix.
Very, very early penalty from Ardell. This is going to play huge, as you said, going into the final laps of the race. We'll see where he will be. This can possibly demote him a couple positions at the end.
It definitely could, considering safety cars could play their deck of cards here later on in this Grand Prix.
Ooh, was that some contact with the wall, Ardell? Not quite sure. I heard a bit of a tap.
It was just a slight kiss.
Ardell was running a high downforce setup, I could tell.
Well, let's see if Stig activates his DRS, which he does. He's at 80. He is just gaining tremendously here on Ardell. Let's see if he's going to look for a move here. Very deep on the brakes as Ardell will just try and let Stig through to get the DRS here. As it actually played dividends as Ardell will get back up here in the lead. But that will allow Silencer to come at Stig here as he decides selecting on the outside. Now that puts him at risk of being shoved out wide. Stig very deep on the brakes. That is very bold. There's a little bit of contact. Don't do that, guys. You're going to be put in the wall. But that will be Silencer P2 in the Alfa Romeo. Now let's see what Silencer can do in the Alfa Romeo compared to Ardell in the Red Bull.
Beautiful move from Silencer, putting himself up to P2. Now he will chase after Ardell and that lead of the race.
Well, DRS, we keep saying it, it's going to play dividends later on this Grand Prix. As Potato's looking for a move on Gary in the banked corner. He's electing to choose outside lane, maybe get the better grip, but he does not get the better grip here. And Silencer is slowly starting to close that gap in. But something to note is that Ron is falling off of DXT, which is not what he needs. Ooh, Stig right on the rear. No! No way! That is oh no! That's Potato in the wall! Everything just kicked off there. That could be sent to the stewards portal between Gary and Potato. That'll be something to look out for the championship.
Yeah, Potato has no right front end plate. That will be wing damage, and he will probably replace that at the end of this lap, go on to mediums, and go to the end. But back to the front, DRS for both. Oh, Silencer's in.
Silencer's in good for wing damage, as he gets a 5-second speeding in the pit lane.
That is huge.
That wasn't, he didn't
for the lead.
Ooh, Stig very deep on the brakes as he's able to get the job done. That is a very clean move, as Potato also gets a 5-second. I think this game's glitched.
Front wing.
Silencers wasn't a penalty.
I think it's front wing for both of these guys.
I mean, they can still make it.
They will easily
Pit window.
Yeah.
Pit window for the softs to go on the mediums is actually starts at lap 9 actually, so you're right on the pit window. So I don't think you will lose anything here.
Yep. They won't lose too much. Obviously, they will lose a bit from the front wing, but maybe be helped out with a bit of extra grip in these first few laps to gain a bit of time back.
Well, Stig is actually starting to grow a bit of a gap on Ardell, so I think that pace for the AlphaTauri driver is definitely showing right now. As DXR Rage gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As Ardell will get DRS, which will help him as he's actually dumping his battery. He's already at 13%, which is not what you need, especially when this track is very harsh on ERS saving when you're on a high downforce setup. I mean, straight on setup.
Yeah. Penalties are starting to rack up. Obviously, these are going to play huge into the end of the race with the potential of a safety car. Here comes Ardell going down the inside into turn 1. He will take the lead from Stig and will clear him before the exit of turn 2.
Yes, he will. something to look out for as well is that silencer between himself and Doggo is 11.7. Let's see how quickly that closes down in relation to leaders. As Stig is still trying to hang on within that DRS, which will be job done here. Here, as long as you get the DRS here and don't make any else mistakes, I think it will be inbound to stay within the DRS for that very, very long straight. Mitchie sits the fastest lap of Grand Prix in the Red Bull for 31.7. That will help out constructors, but Mitchie will not get that point due to him not being in the top 10. But Stig right on the rear gearbox of Ardell, playing it safe, because they're actually, both of them are almost dropping Gary out of their DRS as well. But that won't matter here, as Stig will have the straight line speed because he has overspeed with the DRS, and it will just blow past Ardell. And that will allow Gary to gain even more to stay within that DRS.
Oh, yeah, Gary's got damage.
Oh, did he?
He slammed the wall next to it last time.
Oh, that will be something to look out for. As Ardell's looking for a move on Stig once again. I think we're going to see something like we saw last night in Realistic here. With the same cars.
Yeah.
No.
A bit of trading. Oh, that's another 5. Oh, that's a 5-second time penalty for Yeet Doggo. Oh, I don't know if that's another one. But I think these top two will be trading throughout the race to keep, their batteries somewhat reasonable and pull away from Gary.
Yes, but when Stig make mistakes like those, you cannot keep Gary out of the DRS, as that just pull them along even more closer to these guys here.
Yep, Doggo went on to mediums. I assume he will be going to the end of the race on this set. Not sure if it was for wing damage though.
I am not really sure either, but I do not think Gary has wing damage because he's definitely showing the pace to keep up with these guys.
Oh, it is pit window. I assume Doggo just pitted so he can go straight to the end.
As Doggo actually went by Rage, his Rage is actually in AI mode, but here we go once again between the two Red Bull teams. As Stig will just get around Ardell, but that will gain Gary. Stay within the DRS. Actually, that is very deep on the brakes as DXD lets Whiffy through as well.
I think there's a bit of trading going on for 2 sets. Oh, Ardell and Stig are in.
As Gary stays out, actually, and that's Whiffy in the pit lane as well. So the soft pit window is definitely open here.
Mediums for Ardell, mediums for Stig. They're going straight to the end. Same for Whiffy. Silencer has already pitted. Yeah. This might be a bit of an undercut from Silencer, maybe? Oh, wait. Silencer got damaged, correct?
Yeah, he did, so...
Oh, itchy.
Well... How much time are these two cars going to gain on Gary, Stig, and Ardell? Because we know that the tire fall off is 1 second slower compared to your fastest lap time, but when the track is even more gripped up and you're on the mediums, it's going to be like 2 seconds a lap.
Yep, obviously right now, Stig is in the net lead. Oh, yellow flag, that's a crash.
Out in the first sector. That is near in the middle of the track.
This might be safety car.
I don't think it will even be a consider.
Yeah,
VSC here.
Long. It's too long.
Yep. As
car.
Gary is in the pit lane now. Let's see where he ends up in relation to these guys. As Ardell and Stig are going side by side once again. So yeah.
Here you go.
As
3 seconds.
Yes, he is.
Yep, top 3 are in.
Very close.
Ardell to
let's
lead
see.
with pit stops, so everything has cycled through almost.
Ooh, Gary actually gained a bit of time on Stig and Ardell. That is interesting, like a tenth or two.
Yeah, not as of right now.
My intervals are glitched right now, so I do not know the gap.
Yeah.
I'll wait for everybody to cross the line again.
Yeah, we can see gaps. That side. Actually,
Oh, I think Gary is near getting eliminated from Stig's DRS here, which will be absolute dividends for Ron here because he cannot allow Gary to gain even more points on him because Gary will gain 13, I believe, if my math is correct. That'll be 13, so the gap will be 15 points heading into Abu Dhabi as Stig gets ahead of Ardell once again, and Gary is in the DRS of Ardell and Stig here.
yep, back onto the main straight. We're only going to assume that Ardell will go back for the move as they are trading, trying to pull away from Gary.
Yes, they are. Seems like these drivers are struggling, especially on the Exodus 1. Actually, Ron is in a battle between Potato and Kieran. As Potato's going to go down in the inside, as he actually early breaks and allows Ron to stay ahead. Because if Ron gets ahead of Kieran here, that's even more points to his name, which will close down the gap.
More penalties racking up as I was rage getting a 5-second. Again, these are gonna come into play in the final few laps. Let's see how hard they will actually affect the drivers.
Kieran Evans gets a 3-second time penalty. We're down to 3 drivers without a single time penalty for track extensions, I believe.
Ron on the outside.
Ron on the outside of the banked corner. Kieran trying to leave him enough room as possible, but Ron's superior tire grip, he's going to easily get ahead of Kieran Evans. So he needs to pull away quickly before Kieran can get that DRS and gain everything back as that's executed around. So disregard that.
Yep. Bit of a mistake from Kieran as he is on 11-lap old tires. That was still a beautiful move from Ron Swanson.
It was indeed, but going on the main straight, Ardell is actually starting to pull away from Stig, but with the DRS, Stig just gained so much back on him.
Yep, obviously the DRS is a huge part, and whether or not Stig has the default setup or not, he still has pretty good straight line speed.
He does indeed, but due to Ardell's time penalty, Stig will be your race winner with the way how it stands with Gary P2 and Ardell P3 as your podium. And that will actually end Ardell's streak of no podiums, and that streak started after France. So Ardell's been desperately trying to get back on the podium steps here.
Maybe a bit of something to note. TRL Stig has a lot more battery than Ardell, so obviously... Oh, that's contact to the wall. That might be damage.
Alright, we have to wait and see for these next complex of corners. There you go. Oh, it doesn't look like any wing damage, but it definitely looks like the rear is trying to leave him.
Might be a bit of slight wing damage, maybe 8%, as someone else would know. Stig back to the lead of the race.
These two are swapping, but at what cost? Because Gary is gaining tremendously, and these guys, Stig is in the wall once again.
Yeah, this might be more from wing damage as it will start racking up. Maybe it's up to 13% now.
How do you even get these numbers worth of wing damage?
8% is a joke from maybe a bit of a race for me.
Lord. But there's nothing really to look at except for the battle between Potato and Ron. But Potato's gotten ahead of Ron due to the nature of the DRS. It seems like everybody is just swapping at the moment.
Yeah.
As it's a yellow flag.
What is that?
It's for Mitchie.
Rage.
front wing damage.
Thank you.
As Stig is on the absolutely right on the rear gearbox of Ardell here. I wonder if Gary can get close enough. Maybe he will pounce or move here on whoever does not have the DRS, and for the moment that is Ardell, as he is too far back for this lap to make a move.
Ardell is still pretty low on battery. Gary and Stig almost at 100% each. Here comes Ardell back to the lead of the race.
And yes, he is back up in the lead. But Ron and P8 with no time penalties. With Potato and P7, if we look at time penalties here, that is a 5 for Potato. So he'll probably try and get that removed due to the pit lane being bugged at this track. What else is new? A bug at a track.
Surprise, surprise.
Yes. Everybody in general here. Mitchie is on the sauce, 7 laps. The freshest tires out of anybody is Rage with 2 laps. Actually, no, disregard that. That is Kieran Evans coming to be 1 lap on his tires.
Wow, right on the back of Ardell. Stig is definitely just saving up his DRS as well as Gary. They're just using the DRS to their advantage to get easily past.
As Gary is getting closer and closer to these guys, so I believe if Gary can use his battery when Ardell does not have his DRS, I think he can get around him.
Gary took a bit of a wide entry at the final corner. I think he's trying to get as much of a run as he can onto the main straight.
He's got a good run here, but are they going to end up wheel to wheel going turn 1? No, they're not. Ardell barely has the edge. If Ardell gets another 3, as the 2 Alfa Romeo drivers are actually going at it right now. Both DXT got ahead of Silencer before the main straight, and then Silencer got back ahead. And that is Silencer for 3-second time penalty.
Yep, these penalties are starting to rack up again. Only, what is that, 3 drivers without a penalty. P2, P3, and P8. So, these can be huge.
66% out of the drivers without time penalties are championship protagonists, by the way. That is especially the reason why there's still only 2 drivers left in championship, due to the nature of consistency. Consistency is a major key in winning a league race championship, or even in a real life championship, no matter the sport.
Yep, going into the second DRS zone, it's once again probably going to be another trade for the lead.
Yes, it will. As Stig gets ahead of Ardell. I think Gary's just sitting back and just waiting for the right opportunity to do something. Something to look at here. Well, Stig actually stayed ahead of Ardell here. They're going into turn 1 wheel to wheel with the 2. Contact been made as Ardell actually shoves Stig off the track, and that will be Ardell, your new race leader, once again.
I think Stig's aggression is going to slightly build up over these last few
no!
laps.
Ron's in the pit lane.
Uh-oh.
That's probably for a wing change. Yes,
Yep.
it is.
No right front end plate. Onto softs.
Oh, no.
He has to hope for the safety car here.
And
That
you
is
never
not
know,
gonna
so
help
can
this
make a
championship.
mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, Stig has to start using this battery to pull away from Ardell. Ardell has almost nothing with controller. Yep, basically nothing.
Last lap was the
Doesn't
first
help.
time Steve got battery. Trying to stay in front.
Not using his battery here, but it does not help when Gary as well is gating.
Let's see if Stig will try to stay ahead as he goes back to the lead into the final corner. Let's see if he will use his battery this time.
It does not look like it, but Ardell still is. Gary very deep on the brakes here. Was able to keep the car under control, but that will make him lose time in relation to Ardell and Stig. And Stig actually lost a lot of time in that turn 1, turn 2 complex as well.
Stig and Gary is still with a lot of battery. I think they're going to use it all towards the final 5 laps of the race. They're saving quite a bit.
He's using it here. He's probably noticing that Gary's almost out of DRS range. He's probably going to dump all of his battery to get him out of there.
The aggression is going to start kicking in soon.
And that will be the most entertaining part of the race. And Gary is starting to dump all of his battery to stay within the DRS. Well, I think he'll be way in the gap for DRS here.
Yep,
And Stig ain't even using his.
Yep, Gary well into the DRS of Stig. Stig is going to go back for the lead here.
And he will get it.
Let's see if he will defend it this time. Nope. Ardell
No,
back
he
up
will
into
not.
the lead.
And Gary's actually right on the rear, trying to get on the rear box of Stig here. So I think if they're going to start pulling the guy there, it should be now. As Dixie,
Yep.
yeah. These three has just left the rest of the grid here.
I'm thinking that Gary is on a pretty low downforce setup. He's losing a lot of time through the corners, but gaining all of them back on the straights with DRS and with ERS. Ooh, Stig running wide.
Oh. Yeah, I was about to say. Gary once again. Oh, Ardell right next to the wall there. I thought he tapped it a little bit, but Ron the fastest lap. That point will go to him in the championship, since he is in the top 10. That'll be 2 points to his name. Actually, 3.
Potato and Whiffy side by side. Yep.
Whiffy gets the job done. Potato right in the rear gearbox waiting for a mistake happen for Whiffy. But once again, looking at the lead here, let's see if Stig will do anything with the DRS. And yes, he does. He gets ahead. I wonder if he's going to start using the battery here.
Did Ardell tap the wall there? I heard a bit of a tap. It should go back down into P5. But here we go for the lead again. Goes Ardell.
Potato got ahead of Whiffy for P6. I wonder if that will be a DRS swap starting to develop there.
Yeah, DRS swapping will probably be a huge part through this whole weekend of racing in BRL. We'll see if they will do it in Tier 4, Tier 2, and Tier 1.
I mean, as actually Whiffy and Potato are going wheel to wheel in turn 1, turn 2. I had a little bit of that. There's contact between the two, but it was all clean. Nonetheless, as I thought Gary's out of DRS right there, but he's barely in it.
Yeah, Gary's probably going to have to start pushing just to maintain a decent gap from these guys. He still has a pretty good amount of battery.
That's a yellow flag. That is
Whiffy.
Whiffy.
No front wing.
No
Oh.
front wing. Could that be a VSC or something? Rage and Mitch are in the pit lane. They're expecting something as the marshals have cleaned it off. There's going to be nothing at all.
Wow, that's something to note. Maybe there won't be really any safety cars. Here comes Stig back to the lead.
Yes, he is able to get the job done. But here comes Ardell on Stig once again. But This is the closest Gary's ever been to Stig and Ardell, as that's another yellow flag. That is Rage, as actually, that is Mitchie, I believe, letting Rage through. As Ron is up in the P8. 4 points to his name for the championship.
Red Bull on.
That is Mitchie. Uh-oh! Battle for the lead. This is going to be something different. Ardell is... Wait, I was looking at Mitchie's battery. Never mind, but... But Stig was actually able to get ahead of Ardell on that little straight there. And that is something we haven't seen all weekend.
All race, actually. This is going to be interesting. I think this is where Stig gets more aggressive.
Yeah.
And is going to start pulling
Stig
the
is
gap to
gapping.
Ardell.
As Woofy is
already
on the
back.
sauce. As the DRS will help Gary and Ardell. As Gary is using his battery here, is he trying to look for a move on Ardell? Ardell's using his battery to go for Stig.
Oh.
No! Oh, that was a little contact.
Bit
I
of
thought they were all
contact.
going to crash right there. I wonder if Gary has wing damage. Because that was a very hard hit in the rear.
Might be very slight contact again. Maybe 8% damage once again. Here comes Stig going back for the lead on Ardell. Down into turn 1. Let's see if he will clear. Easily will clear him.
As Ardell's looking for his switchback, I wonder if he's going to keep it in there. Uh-oh. You can't do that there. That's because you're going to get crashed. We saw that live in Realistics here.
Yep, Gary has to start using his battery now to get past Ardell. Ardell barely has anything. Oh, that's contact with the wall, Ardell.
Yep, and like you said, Gary is starting to use the battery to get around Ardell.
Yep, Ardell is going to start getting slower and slower. Oh, a gap is starting to form between Stig and Ardell. Yellow flag. Who will that be?
As for Mitchie,
Not a very good race for
As-
Mitchie.
Ardell is out of the DRS. Never mind, he's right back in it, but Stig is actually using the battery right now to keep Ardell out of it, but I do not think that'll be enough, because that would help if Ardell drag him back to Stig.
Let's see if Ardell can get... Oh, this is going to be a move from Gary.
Oh, yes, you're right. Okay, looking for a move on Ardell for P2. Let's see if Ardell will do something here. He stays alongside. Contact between the two. They keep it clean, but it's going to be a drag race. But with Gary having more battery, I think it will go to him as he's not even using it. But Stig and Fatari going defensive here. Both drivers go wheel to wheel, very deep on the brakes, as Ardell will just push Gary off the track, and that will allow Ardell to stay ahead of Gary.
Yep, Gary needs to get past Ardell if he wants to win this race. Obviously, he would love to extend the gap from Ron in the championship, as it's only 2 points, I think.
No!
Oh, that is huge!
That is absolutely huge. He needs Ardell and Gary to battle it out here. Here, what's they are going in the
there's
main
a move.
corner, as Ardell just let Gary through.
I think Ardell is going to start using Gary to catch up to Stig again. Obviously, Gary has much more ERS than Ardell. Oh yeah, he's using it.
But so is Stig.
Who has a better straight line speed? Wow, they're dumping it.
For Stig, you gotta push here and hope that Gary gets a penalty. Speaking of Gary, he's gonna have DRS, and he's gonna gain tremendously here as Ardell's out of the DRS of Gary.
Stig is blinking. This is going to be some motivation for Gary to get past Stig. Here we come onto the main straight with 2 to go.
Yep, 2 laps left in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and Gary will take the lead, which will be crucial for the championship, because if you get a win here and your other championship rival is Ardell gets another 3-second time penalty for track limits.
Ardell stacking up these penalties. Gary right now has the win by quite a bit of a margin, as Stig and Ardell have penalties.
Yes, so if you're Gary here, I wouldn't even take it that quick here because you have the win in the bag.
I think all three of them have very close to
Does
none
Stig
bad-
have
to no
wing
bad.
damage?
Uh-oh.
I've noticed that he's been understeering quite a lot here for the past lap or so, as he's in the wall.
Ooh. Might be very, like, lime green damage for Stig. This is gonna be a pretty huge effect to the car. He's also blinking, so... But yeah, no DRS for Stig as he's not in the 1 second gap of Gary. Let's see if Ardell will do something about it.
Stig is barely struggling to get up in the 8th gear. I think Ardell will just stay behind to get DRS here, which he does. But
Side by
now,
side.
final lap of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix for Tier 3 has started, but battles are occurring all around the grid as Ardell gets ahead of Stig for P2 on track. But at the end of this race, I think it will be Stig P2. As battle for P4 is Satcher will probably get that penalty for 5 seconds removed, so this could be on merit here.
Yep, Gary has quite pulled the gap to the other two that were battling with him. So yeah, this has been pretty good final laps for Gary.
I think the time to start gapping everybody and pass him would be now, which Gary is done.
Done really well.
Yes, he has, but going through Sector 2 for final time. Make sure do not get any snap of oversteer, or even understeer, get yourself wing damage here. Both Stig and Ardell dumping their batteries again. DRS and Gary here.
Yeah,
But
looking
I
very
think
good for him.
yes, it is. But going to the final slog straight for the final time here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in Tier 3. It has absolutely went to Gary's way. There's a battle for P2. Is Stig going very deep on the brakes, very close between the two, but it will be Gary's day as he will come across the line to win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, but on track it will be P2, but Stig in the AlphaTauri. I believe that is his first ever podium, and take a bow, Stig, you did it on merit. Silencer gets a 5-second for unserved, but that's DXT should go P4, Stig P5. I would not be surprised if Silencer will get that penalty removed, and that will move him up into P4.
Yep, Potato finishing P6, pretty good day from him. Udago P7, also a pretty good day. But Ron, that could have been a pretty good race had he not gotten front wing damage.
Yeah, just not the day he needed. A very uncharacteristic race from Ron here.
Yeah. That will be a pretty huge hit with 2 rounds to go in the championship.
And
Sneaks
yeah,
fastest
it's the
lap.
fastest lap. There you go, that's an extra point. That'll help him.
Yep. Whiffy P9 and then Kieran will be P10. So, yeah, that was a pretty good race.
Yeah, it was. Something to talk about as well is that constructors for Ferrari. That is 3. That's 5 points. Gary with 25. And Alfa Romeo as well.
Whew.
Yep. As Ardell's podium streak, Ardell's non-podium streak has ended.
Yep. What was he, P3? Kinda called that.
Yeah. He did. Congratulations. Get our podium finishers in here. As once everybody gets in here, Cam, would you like to start us off with interviewing Ardell? Oh, I think everybody is in here. Yes, they are. So, I'm assuming you're going to the showroom, Bailey.
Yep. Head there now.
Uh, yeah. Well, Ardell, no Ardell. Cam. Go ahead and start your interview with Ardell.
So, Ardo, you had a very tough race. You had a battle for P1 the whole time. How do you think it went from your point of view?
I mean, I think it went pretty well, even though it is our P1. Got a couple penalties that didn't really help, but yeah, pace was there. Me and Stig were honestly just laughing pretty much the entire race. I can say this to Minico now. So yeah, I got on the podium. So Minico, I am no longer cursed by you. So thank you for leaving your colors at home this weekend. I really appreciate it, honestly. Yeah.
Yep. How do you feel going to next week at Abu Dhabi? How's the pace?
Honestly, I have done maybe a lap in total around Abu Dhabi. I do not like the track. The track is garbage. They should have changed the layout. Not looking forward to that at all.
Okay. Congrats on ending your podium streak, and then it's Bailey.
Yep. Yeah. So, Stig, that was a pretty good race from you. Is that your first podium? I think that is.
My first F1 podium, yes.
Nice, nice. So congrats on that. That was a pretty, commanding race from you. You had your little battles with Ardell, mainly trading, but you were in the lead for a good amount. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, it was a good race. Me and Ardell were just swapping back and forth, working together, trying to get Gary off our ass. And unfortunately, it didn't work out to that point. I kind of screwed myself over with the penalty. After I got wing damage after hitting the, I forgot what turn it is. It's 6th gear left. Yeah, I just hit the inside wall there, gave myself wing damage on lap 23, I think, and I just screwed myself over.
Yep. So with 2 rounds to go in this season, how do you feel about the next 2 tracks, and will you be somewhat competitive?
Abu Dhabi, I feel like it's a decent track for me. I'm not horrible there. And Imola's, I don't know. I'm not too bad there.
All right. So congrats on your first F1 podium, P2. Yeah, Zach, take it over.
Thank you.
Well, we move over to our championship protagonist of the Mercedes, Gary. When the time to win a race and basically gap your other championship contender by a race, it should be now. But guess what? You did it now, so that will help out crucially in the championship. Give us your thoughts, Shirley, about that race.
Like I say, it was entertaining from my view anyway, watching Stig and Ardell overtaking each other, playing the overtaking game basically, and like I say, I was just fortunate obviously to have someone in my ear to tell me when I should really push, and obviously if I wanted to win it on track and still be cautious with my wings. I know a couple of times I kind of touched the back of, I think it was Stig and side of Ardell, but luckily obviously no damage for anyone. But yeah, it was good, hard, intense racing. I enjoyed it, and on to next week.
Yes. Next week is Abu Dhabi. How are you feeling there, and how are you feeling for your championship contender, Ron?
Same again. I look forward to Abu Dhabi and final track at Imola, isn't it? So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next couple of races. It's potential to get it boxed off next week, but we'll see how it goes. You never know, do you?
Well, that will conclude the Tier 3 stream. But here in about 25 minutes, we're going to be back up in live for the Tier 4. Unfortunately, we won't have any of the cool edits because Bailey was able to supply us with that one. But it will be me and Minico for Tier 4. Tier 4 should be a very exciting race, but considering the championship is over, we're going to have to look over for the Constructors Battle. But tomorrow, Saturday, we have Tier 2. Actually, my debut race. So I have to flex my ego a little bit, but I'm hoping to be a little bit quick there. And then after that, we're going to have Tier 1. On Sundays, it would usually be ACC, but they're on their season break. And after that, we'd go back to Wednesday for F2 for the start off the Abu Dhabi weekend. But in a week's time, we'll be at Abu Dhabi to see how the championship battle goes down once again. And we will see you guys in about 25 minutes.